After a tiring day at work, Warren Peters was returning home. It was 7 p.m. Warren had taken leave from work an hour early today and planned to spend some time with his wife, Eva. Recently, after the argument, things haven't been so great between them, and Warren wanted to patch things up. He unlocked his front gate and walked down the path to his front door. When he suddenly heard a familiar laughter just a distance down the block. He turned to see his wife with another man, laughing as they walked towards the house. Upon seeing Warren standing by the door, Eva sighed. "Oh, that's my husband." "Husband, I didn't see you wearing a wedding ring." "I got a little rash, that's why I've taken it off for a few days." As they neared the gate, Eva took the bags from the man. "This is good enough, I can take it from here, thanks." "No problem," the man said as he watched Eva struggle to carry the bags, while her husband just sternly opened the door and stepped inside. Rather roughly, her husband closed the door, and not long after, the man heard the couple shouting inside. "I'm trying to work on this marriage, but it's like you're incapable of being faithful." "What? I've never been unfaithful to you. He's our neighbor. The bags were heavy. He only came to help me, that's it." It was a Saturday morning. Warren was in his study reading the newspaper when suddenly there was a knock on his door. Warren opened up to see someone familiar. It was the same man from that night 2 weeks ago. "Hello, Mr. Warren Peters." "So you're a cop?" "Yes, I'm Officer Frank Evans. I have a bad news for you." "What bad news?" "The BIIPD has found a body. It's been identified as Eva Peters. We found her ID on her. Your wife is no more." "What? That can't be." "Then where is your wife?" "She went jogging. She's not back yet. Maybe she went somewhere." "It's midday, Mr. Peters. I need you to come with me." Shocked and in disbelief, Warren went with Officer Frank to the hospital. When they walked into the morgue, where supposedly lay the cadaver of Eva Peters, Warren walked to the table anxiously, passing Officer Frank a glance before he pulled down the white sheets. "Yes, this is my wife. We have some questions for you, Mr. Peters." "Mr. Peters, we've spoken to your neighbors, to your friends and family, and we've learned that you and your wife were dealing with some issues." "Yes, we were. I suspected her of being unfaithful to our marriage, and we often had disagreements on that matter." "And how did you respond to that? Did the arguments get physical? Many of your neighbors have reported hearing loud sounds and shouting." "What? Whatever arguments we had was between us. Why are you asking me all this? Are you taking me as the prime suspect?" "You're not the prime suspect, Mr. Peters. You're the only suspect." "How can you allege me with this? I didn't do this." "We know it was you, Mr. Peters. Tell us why you took the life of your wife." "No, it wasn't me." Despite Warren's denial, the BIIPD had reasons to believe he was indeed the culprit. Of witnesses, many of his neighbors had testified to the fact that the couple had an ongoing rough marriage. And when Warren went into trial charged with murder, he was proven guilty. Man sentenced to death after brutally taking the life of his wife. This marriage was a mistake, but divorcing him would have been another mistake, especially without teaching him a lesson. So what if I was unfaithful? He didn't have to be so difficult. It all started about 3 months ago when Eva joined a fitness boutique a little far from her home. She had gained a bit of weight and wanted to shed it off. But the first day she stepped in, she was shocked to see a young woman that looked just like her. Her name was Kathleen. If it wasn't for my glasses and my hair, we would have been identical. She'll be perfect. That's when Eva began her master plan. She estimated it would all be a matter of only 2 months. A few minor changes and she would look exactly like Kathleen. And the first of all of them would be her hair. Wow, Eva, I like what you did with your hair. The new look is nice. You really think so? I actually did it for you. I thought you would finally find me attractive. What are you talking about? You've always looked beautiful. Check. Next came her glasses. They had to go. Where are your glasses, Eva? You don't need them anymore? Oh, I forgot to tell you. I'm always misplacing them. It's a hassle wearing glasses. So I got lenses. It really brings out your eyes. I like it. Check. Now that she looked nearly identical to Kathleen, Eva knew she had to take her precautions. She didn't want anyone who knew Kathleen to know about her. So whenever she drove out to the gym, she made sure to cover her hair, wear her hoodie, and when she would be inside, she wore a bandana and kept her glasses on. It only took a matter of few weeks to slim down to match Kathleen's perfect figure. And when Eva had reached her goal, she waited for the perfect day, the perfect time. On the right opportunity, when Eva found Kathleen all to herself, she decided to pull off the last part of her plan. Eva stood there in the bathroom, staring at Kathleen, washing her hands and fixing her hair in the mirror. She noticed Kathleen had become a little conscious of Eva staring at her. Is everything all right? Are you okay? Eva took off her hoodie and her glasses, looking at Kathleen as if she were surprised, as if she were looking at her the first time. And Kathleen herself was thundered. She widened her eyes in awe and stared back at Eva. Did I just find my twin sister? We look a lot alike. Wow, this is crazy. My name is Kathleen. I'm Eva. The girls had a friendly conversation, after which they both got ready to head out. Eva left the boutique a little early and drove her car to a stop right in front of the boutique door. It was raining out, just as Eva had expected, the weather she had been waiting for. Kathleen lived only a few blocks down and always walked to the boutique and back, but today, Eva had something different planned for her. It's raining, come on. I brought my car, let me drop you home. That's alright, I only live 10 minutes away. I don't want to bother you. I'll run there. Oh, get in the car. I know how my hair looks when it gets frizzy in the rain. So, on Eva's insistence, Kathleen readily hopped on, never expecting what was coming her way. You can put your bag in the back. Thanks. Eva drove the car around, following a narrow, empty road. Not a lot of people were out in the rain anyways, so getting her job done wouldn't be difficult. So what do you do? How long have you been living in Austin? For a couple of years now. I'm a dancer. I'm trying to save up to start my modeling career. Nice, I wish you luck. What about you? I'm married. I used to work, but not anymore. Cool. I always wanted a simple life. There's my place. Kathleen lived in a small home with a perfect driveway leading into a quiet backyard. Eva drove into the perfect quiet spot, and both the women got off the car. And just when Kathleen stooped down to get her bag out of the back seat, she felt a heavy hit on her head, toppling over inside. Eva pushed her in and drove out of the parking lot again. She drove all the way across town to the park where she usually jogged. In the midst of the trees and bushes, on a quiet lane, she stuffed Kathleen's pocket with her ID and purse, kept Kathleen's bag for herself, and left the poor girl to rot. I'm sure Officer Frank will definitely recognize me. Just about a few days ago, Eva had been keeping an eye on a new neighbor of hers. He was a police officer, and he always went to a certain supermarket. You've been staring at the shelves for a long time now. Tell me about it. How is a police officer supposed to know how to bake? I can help you. Eva intentionally befriended him because he would serve a big role in all of this. After a few days of casual meet and greets, Officer Frank came to know Eva as his friendly neighbor, and the next step was to take him back home. Wow, this is heavy. I don't know how I'm going to walk home with this. Let me help you with that. I would really appreciate that, but I don't want to bother you. My house is actually a few blocks down. That's alright. With the two of us, we'll make it there faster. I wish I could have brought my car, but it started acting up yesterday and I had to get it towed to the garage. Eva knew Warren wouldn't like seeing her with another man. But what she didn't expect was for Warren to return home early. But that only made things easier for her. She didn't have to invite Frank inside and entertain him while Warren arrived. Warren treated her quite harshly in front of Frank, and that's exactly what Eva wanted Frank to see and hear. Now you'll learn your lesson, Warren. And sure enough, when the BIPD would find Kathleen's body, Officer Frank would recognize Eva, and all suspicion would go on her husband. In the meantime, Eva was already enjoying her new life, living in her new home as Kathleen. She even returned to the gym where everyone recognized her instantly as the beautiful Miss Kathleen. Nobody had the slightest clue it was actually Eva. You look nice, Kathleen. Hi, Kathleen. But so far, today's morning had been the best, getting to read the headlines. Eva leaned back and relaxed, satisfied. But it was sometime around the evening that Eva heard a loud knock on her door. She opened up, a bit shocked and frightened to see a few big, brute men staring at her. You think you'll mess with us and we'll let you go? What? Who? Put her in the car. Where are you taking me? Stop, please. Eva was horrified as the man forcefully pushed her into a van and drove her far out to a warehouse. You were supposed to deliver the packages. Do you know how much your misplacement cost us? You're gonna pay for it all. And I'm sure that job at the club isn't gonna do you any good. In horror, Eva watched the men surround her, realizing Kathleen wasn't the girl she thought she was. She wasn't just any kind of dancer. She was and worse, she was involved in some dark business. But now, what were these men going to do with her? Please, please don't do anything. Look, you don't understand. I'm not Kathleen. My name is Eva. I just look like her. Your games aren't going to work, sweetheart. You have to pay us one way or the other. And if you don't have the money, you'll work for us. Or do us a little favor. Or we know how to make money out of women like you. Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.